Yeah,
That's a
I
cool.
mean, you don't. I think with film technology, you got to really hit it
Yeah.
because I'll give you a good example. You remember Tron Legacy 2009 with Jeff Bridges?
Yeah.
You watch that movie today, for the most part, it's still spectacular. But Jeff Bridges has a younger version of himself.
So that's no good.
So,
It's the only bad thing about that movie. But yeah, yeah.
and even going further back, remember the Mummy 2? The Mummy Returns? You remember when we saw the Scorpion
The
King at
Rock.
the end?
Yeah, it was terrible.
Dwayne
Yeah,
Johnson. Even for that time, I was like, man, that's like PlayStation
awful.
1 graphics
Right.
right there. So, I mean, as much as I want to see that boxing movie, it's important to make sure you get the film technology right, which is maybe a reason why James Cameron's Avatar 2 took so long. You know, it wasn't just the script, but maybe he wanted to push the boundaries. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, I've been on record saying, you know, if there was stock for Avatar 2, 3, and 4, I'd be buying right now because, in my opinion, James Cameron, look, you don't bet against him when he does a sequel, especially to something that he created. Granted, there are clear inspirations in Avatar. When's the last time you saw Avatar?
It's I think whenever Disney Plus first came out. And it was
Like
on
2 years
there.
ago.
So 2 years ago, yeah. Yeah, I watched it then. And I hadn't seen it I think since it came out at that point. So and it's a good movie. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I've never thought I've never understood why it's the highest grossing movie of all time. I didn't think it was but I mean, whatever. I've just never really understood that. But it's a good movie. It's like I sat down, just sit down and watch it. It's like it's actually really good.
I think it's one of those movies because we've had movies that okay, so I hate to bring this up, but Heath Ledger's Joker, Paul Walker's Brian O'Connor, tragic passings. Oh, bless you.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, tragic passings, both of them. I felt like that unfortunate circumstance really pushed the box office.
It did.
But with Avatar, I don't know what it was. I mean, it was just.
I didn't understand. I didn't see it in theater. I saw it at home as soon as it came out. Yeah, no, I didn't see it in theater. I saw it when it came out, and I was just like, okay, this is pretty good. But I was like, what?
Do you remember the hype of Avatar?
Yes.
At the time,
yes.
I don't know what it was. I think it was just one of those movies that you just absolutely had to see. You know, you're just maybe it was the world building or the 3D technology at the time.
Yeah, it looked spectacular. I don't think we really had anything like it at the time. Although Watchmen was the same year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 2009. Yeah,
and that looked amazing. But I think that it didn't look any less weird in terms of characters in the world, and so I don't really know why one of them really caught on and the other one didn't necessarily. But I don't know. Yeah, part of it is the appeal. Maybe it's just James Cameron. I think maybe it's just that name, James Cameron. I don't know. Maybe his, because prior to that, 12 years prior, obviously it was Titanic, which was kind of the same thing. Although you can kind of understand that it's spectacular. The scale of that being it's the Titanic, and you got the love story that goes with it. So that made sense at the time. You got two good-looking leads carrying it. DiCaprio, that's the movie that made him a star.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like they were drawing on the names, but I think it was just the name. I mean, it's just James Cameron put that name on it, and all his movies are huge. I remember back from the Abyss on, every time it was a Cameron movie, it was a huge event thing. So.
Yeah, I think it was really Aliens and T2 is what got him noticed. T2, Terminator Judgment Day, is what put him on the map.
That's what made him a huge, yeah.
And then from there, it just, True Lies. Obviously, The Abyss was before T2, right?
Yeah. Yeah, The Abyss was 88 or 89, something like that.
Yeah. And
remember that being big. But.
And it, in my mind, it's like so many directors today, like they wouldn't be able to do what. First off, I mean, he's James Cameron, but they would never be able to be given the leeway, the amount of resources, the amount of time to make his movie. And that's
Yeah,
why I
no,
think if you if you see a person like a name like Steven Spielberg on a movie,
yeah,
and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, he's executive producer, but how much is he really doing? Like, I feel like today you kind of need those big names, especially if they believe in what you're doing.
yeah,
They'll help keep the studio off your back.
yeah.
Would you disagree?
No,
Or
yeah, I do agree. Yeah, yeah. For the most part,
right,
although I think, yeah, if you got that kind of, just for a few directors that have that cachet, I guess is the word is, Spielberg, Cameron, probably Nolan, I think is one.
Nolan, yeah, I think Nolan. There's a reason why a lot of people are either high on Man of Steel or are coming around to Man of Steel as, oh, maybe it's not as terrible as I thought when I saw it in theaters, because it was a knee jerk reaction because Superman killed. But I feel like what helped make that movie great was the fact that Nolan, and I don't want to take credit away from Zack Snyder, but Christopher Nolan, you know, his name is still big, but his name was really big back then, coming off The Dark Knight and
Oh yeah.
Inception.
Hmm.
Like he was a name, and I've been reading stories about his friendship with Zack Snyder and how involved, how important he thought Man of Steel was for starting what Warner Brothers wanted, as far as a universe. Um,